Dual Threat Podcast. We are back here with another episode. We just got done breaking down the entire NFL landscape from the wild card round to the divisional round. Here we are now with one game left in this crazy college football year that it's been. Griff, we've got a ton to talk about. So great to see you back in person, man. How's everything going?
We are back in person. College football national championship. One game left. One game on the line. Monday, we're going to be talking. This is going to be a quick 30-minute video, maybe 45-minute video. Just sit back, relax, give it a like, hit the subscribe button, and just listen to two savants. What is it?
That's a great word.
Yeah, two legends telling you about the college football. It's great times. We might talk about a little bit of the college football transfer portal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Some guys. Let's start off with Dylan Ravioli. Dylan Ravioli, he goes to Oregon.
Stinks.
You know what I mean? We'll get to the national championship game. We just want to talk a little bit. Two QBs right here. Dylan Ravioli. Caden's a Nebraska guy. Caden is a Nebraska guy. Tell me what you think about Ravioli's heading over to Oregon.
You know, Griff, if you would have asked me this a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have wanted to air this video. It probably wouldn't have been the nicest thing ever. But, you know, for Dylan Raiola, ultimately, Griff, the dude was at 4 high schools. And then before he committed to Nebraska, he was committed to Ohio State and then to Georgia and then to Nebraska. And now here we are with him in the transfer portal again. I mean, he's been to every single school you could possibly imagine. And so for me right now, I'm like, well, I should have seen it coming. I think Nebraska, ultimately, with what I've seen, I think Nebraska was okay with him leaving. I think they were basically saying, okay, we understand you're going to hit the road. We can't tie our hitch to you anymore. And you know, it was devastating that he broke his leg. And I'm wishing him a speedy recovery. And I do think he is a good football player. I don't want that to get misconstrued. I do think he's a talented football player. I understand that. I don't want my fandom to get in the way. I want to be, you know, as non-biased as I possibly can here. I do think he was a talented player, but interesting to see that he's going to Oregon here because when we're filming this right now on Wednesday, the 14th, we don't know if Dante Moore is going to declare for the draft or not. And he obviously, very talented quarterback, would still be the starter next year, regardless of if Raiola is there. So in my opinion, if you're Raiola, maybe you view this as hey, I just saw Dante Moore sit there for a year and now he's in the spotlight to be a top pick in the draft. I think if I had to guess, I think Dante Moore will declare and I think he will be one of the top picks in the draft. Raiola is going to get that opportunity in Oregon, make some good money. Nebraska, they get screwed.
They get screwed. Listen, kid, I've never been a Ravioli's fan. You know what I mean? I've never been a super Ravioli's fan. It's funny, like he went to Oregon. Did you see Patrick Mahomes in that Oregon jersey?
Yes, I did. And I had to put up with all of that defending him, and now here I am.
Hey, it's tough. I just want to get your 2 cents on that. And then Sam Leavitt, big quarterback signing for LSU. Thought he would go to Miami. I thought he would go to Miami because how I thought he would go to Miami. We live in Arizona. You know what I mean? We live in Arizona.
I go to ASU.
Yeah, we go. He goes. Caden goes to ASU. We support ASU. We want to see ASU thrive. We want to see ASU win. So we were interested on where he was going. Same thing with Jane Daniels. A couple of years ago, he went to LSU. He won a Heisman. He was the number 2 overall pick. What was Jane Daniels?
Yeah. Number 3. Right after Drake May and Caleb Williams.
Did Drake May go 2?
Drake May was 3.
Drake May was 3. Okay. But he falls in the footsteps. Yep. You know what I mean? Lane Kiffin goes over to LSU. Now Sam Leavitt is over there. The reason why I thought Sam Leavitt was going to go to Miami, because I think the conferences, and you made a good point about this before, because we talked a little bit about before this. You said Lane Kiffin, he develops these quarterbacks, and I 100% agree. I 100% agree. But I also think the SEC is just a tough conference.
Yeah,
it's a tough conference to play, and you need to win. I mean, Vandy won 10 games this year? Didn't get in.
Nope.
They did not get in. So I mean, you have to win 10 or 11 games in there. Going on over playing over the ACC, those dudes are a bunch of bums in my opinion. I mean, Duke won the conference. Miami is playing in the national championship game. Duke won the conference at 7-5 or 7-3, whatever they are. So I thought Sam Leavitt was going to go over to Miami, get all the money in the world, because I mean they're probably getting the same if he went to LSU or Miami. They'll probably get similar money.
Yeah.
Go over there, play for a bum ACC, make the playoffs for sure. I don't know. That was just my 2 cents. Did you thought he was going to go to LSU?
Yeah, I did. My sources were telling me about a week ago that he was going to go to LSU. So that was kind of what I was hearing in the tea leaves. What I was also hearing is that he was going to make around $6 million a year. And that's top of the market. That's as high as he's going to get. And I think Miami definitely would have matched that. I believe they paid Carson Beck $4 million this year to stay in college again. And I know that a lot of people were kind of questioning why Alabama's quarterback Ty Simpson ultimately entered the draft, because he was going to have some options to stay another year, maybe make some more money from a school like potentially Miami, maybe Ole Miss, with Trinidad Chambliss now not having an extra year of eligibility. I think he's trying to fight for another one, but I think ultimately as of right now he's not going to get that extra year. But for Sam Leavitt, this was a guy that greatly benefited from having two of the most explosive offensive playmakers in the country over the last 2 years in Cam Scatterby when they made that college football playoff run. They also had Jordan Tyson, but he got injured right before the playoffs. But this year, you had the best wide receiver in all of college football, in my opinion. Jordan Tyson. Jeremiah Smith is definitely up there, but I think Jordan Tyson, when he was healthy, considering what that offense has, he's the only guy. I mean, this dude is so talented. He's uber talented. Sam Leavitt at the same time is also uber talented. I think this is a great landing spot for him with Lane Kiffin, a guy who's had a lot of success with quarterbacks in the past, whether it be Jackson Dart, whether it be Matt Corral. He's had a lot of guys that have ultimately gone pro in that system and have looked really good. I think Leavitt's going to be a Heisman contender next year. They had an unbelievable transfer portal in terms of the wide receivers that they brought in. Lane Kiffin absolutely crushed it there. I can't wait to see this offense next year, man. And
go
ahead.
Quick off the top of your head, I know we haven't even talked about the national championship game. This is the national championship post, but a little yap sesh before off the top of your head. Heisman favorites go to the next year. Leavitt, Manning. Who else do you think?
Yeah, I think Leavitt and Manning are definitely the top two right off the top of my head.
You know, if Trinidad got that next year, I think he would have been in there too.
It depends. I think Gunnar Stockton's going to come back, and I think he's a Heisman contender next year for sure. You know, I'd have to go through the entire list, and I know I'm definitely missing some guys right now. But for me, I think and it depends if Dante Moore comes back or not too. I think Dante Moore is absolutely a Heisman contender next year.
Ohio
I
State
was
QB.
talking about Marcel Reed a little bit. Yeah, Julian Sayin and definitely Jeremiah Smith. I think Marcel Reed is definitely, and he was in the Heisman talks a lot this year until they lost those final two games. I think Marcel Reed can definitely have a big time bounce back year. Texas A&M, but yeah, I mean, this LSU team, they've got a lot of playmakers on the outside, big time explosive offense. I would love to see Trinidad Chambliss get another year so that we can get an Ole Miss versus LSU clash. Lane Kiffin going back to Oxford to play that team.
That would be legendary.
Griff, that would be unbelievable, because we know that Kejuan Lacey, the running back who played under him, also is staying at Ole Miss, and you have Pete Golding who's staying at Ole Miss. And
do you think he goes to the like?
No,
he's staying for sure.
Right now, he inked the contract. He's coming back, and we saw DeMond Williams, Washington's quarterback, sign the contract, big boy.
Yeah, he
signed the contract. And then a few days later, he tried to leave. And all of a sudden, they said, no, you don't. Not so fast. And he almost got in some big time trouble there. So I think once you put that name on that dotted line, it's as good as can be. He's coming back to Ole Miss. I really would love to see Trinidad Chambliss get another year so that we can get maybe one of the most anticipated games in college football, in the college football regular season in a long time.
No, next year, I know we're still not even talking about the national championship game, but I mean, we're talking about next year. It's going to be interesting because the SEC, with all those quarterbacks, with all these moves. Now, the transfer portal, I'm not a big fan of the transfer portal because I want to see teams develop, but it does make it interesting year by year where people land and you're like, okay, this team's going to be good now. Now this team's going to be good now. Now this team's going to be good now. But let's finally get to the national championship game. Miami versus Indiana in Miami in the Hard Rock Stadium. I believe that's in the Hard Rock Stadium. Weather should be good. I have no idea if the weather's going to be good. 62. What's the spread on this one? I believe Indiana is a big favorite.
8.5.
8.5. You kick this one off. Who do you have in this game?
Yeah, I've got Indiana by no surprise. It stinks, and I felt that the Oregon-Indiana game was ultimately the national championship, and I'll put my right hand up and say I'm a ding dong for choosing Oregon. That was an absolute whooping, to say the least. But for me, Griff, I view this Indiana team as a squad that can just beat you in so many different ways. And to me, Fernando Mendoza absolutely slammed the door shut on being the number one overall pick. The guy just doesn't miss. I've never seen anything like it. And I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment too much here, but it's like I watch him throw 5 touchdowns and put the ball in the money every single throw. I mean, his back shoulder throws to Elijah Surratt are just so money. I mean, the guy is so talented. He's easily going to be the number one overall pick. I mean, what we're watching from him this season, a guy that was at Cal Berkeley last year, coming to Indiana to play for Curt Cignetti, to have this type of revival of a program that he's going to have his fingerprints all over when it's all said and done. I mean, this was an unbelievable season for Fernando Mendoza. They're only one game away now, Griff. They're only one game away. They just obliterated Oregon. For Miami, it's so weird because like I wanted them to be in the playoff over Notre Dame, and I was like, it was a no-brainer to me that they should have been in over Notre Dame, but I didn't expect them to be this good. And I think most people that you talk to are like, they didn't expect this from Miami because they had the lulls in the beginning, not in the beginning, but in the middle of the year where they lost to SMU and Louisville, I believe, were the two losses that they had. And they're kind of like, oh, like it's a little shaky. They're a good team, but you know, in the ACC, to your point, not a great conference overall. And then all of a sudden, this front seven becomes the best in football with Ruben Bain and Mensador, and you're like, oh my goodness gracious, they can shut down a super explosive Ohio State team. And then offensively, Mark Fletcher and this team's ability to run the football is second to none with how good they are. And you just have this absolute spark plug in Malachi Toney. You just get the guy the ball no matter how. He should be a senior in high school right now.
Yeah,
and the guy had a crazy touchdown. Insanity, but. I've got Indiana in a big one. This is the team of destiny. They've been the team of destiny since day one. Go ahead and get your documentary crew ready because it's coming.
Yeah, get the 30 for 30 ready. I'm agreeing with you, Caden. I'm rolling with Indiana. This isn't like a oh, I'm taking Miami. We're gonna be bickering at each other. Indiana, it's just hard not to pick them. I mean, they're just so consistent. The coaching is better than Miami. The QB play is better than Miami. Now the defense is very similar. Maybe you lean Miami, but I mean the offense, you got to lean Indiana. It's just this to take this Indiana team, Caden, that's why we say get the documentaries, get the 30 for 30 out. The Indiana has historically sucked. Yeah. They historically have been trash. They've historically been absolute garbage. And for Cignetti to take this team in 2 years' time to a national championship, they're 4 quarters away. They're 4 quarters away from pulling this off. Let's look back on like why I'm picking Indiana even more. Miami, they haven't played perfect. They haven't played perfect in those games, especially the last game against Ole Miss. They just fell asleep in that third quarter. They won the game. Don't get me wrong. They needed the last drive for Carson for Beck to get that last touchdown, which was amazing, by the way. It was absolutely amazing. That run was absolutely amazing. But even then, I mean, 18 seconds left. Trinidad gets him down to the 30. Was that a PI at the end?
I don't think so.
Yeah, was it a PI? You can't call it. You can't call it. But I mean, it was close. It was way close for comfort.
The tough enough position.
Way close for comfort. I was sitting there I had Miami money line in the pocket. You know what I mean? I was like, this game's over. They got to the 30-yard line, one playoff. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell? I just think you can't. I mean, Miami has been playing great. They've been playing great, but Indiana, like you said, just a team of destiny right now. Just a team of destiny. And we said it before we got on the cast. We're feeling like a storm coming, like a bad storm for Miami. You know what I mean? Like a bad national championship game where Indiana, maybe it's close early in the first quarter, but then Indiana goes up by 2 touchdowns coming into halftime. Then coming out of halftime, they get a pick 6 and they score again. Now it's 35-10. Now the game's over. You know what I mean? And Miami at that point is just not going to come back. I'm agreeing with you. I think Indiana pulls off the greatest season of all time college. I think, like, I was reading some stat where like no one has gone 16-0 or 15-0 or 16-0 with it. That's not to say in the future no one has done that, but I mean, to do that is an absolute. I mean, Mendoza, you're the first round pick. You're the first overall pick. The Raiders, don't trade the pick either. Go with Mendoza. Go with them. Indiana, I see winning this game. 35-21.
I feel like that even might be too close.
Like I think it could get really ugly for Miami really quick. Now, Miami, keys to the game, you have to control the line of scrimmage. You have to play the game like you played against Ohio State. You have to have these 8 or 9 minute touchdown drives running the football. You have to run the football on this Indiana team. I'm not saying Indiana gives up the run. I'm just saying here's how you beat them. Because I don't think they win in a track race. I don't.
No,
I just don't think they.
And that's just not how they're built.
And you're right. That's just not how they're built. They have to run the football. They have to eat clock, 7-minute touchdown drives. You can't kick field goals. You cannot kick field goals in this game. You got to score 7-minute touchdown drives because Indiana, they're going to put up 35. They're going to put up 20 plus points. You know what I mean? That Miami defense, it's good, but it also has some moments where they take some breaks. You know what I mean? Ole Miss capitalized that in that second half. Ohio State capitalized it in that second half. If Ohio State, I remember it was like 17-14. Ohio State got the ball. They got the ball on the 50-yard line, and then some flags kind of took them back. If Ole Miss scores that touchdown in that game, goes up 21-17. Who knows if Miami came back? But I'm agreeing. Indiana, team of destiny, national champions.
It's going to be a fun matchup to watch in terms of seeing Indiana's top-rated offensive line go up against this insane Miami pass rush and defensive line. I mean, they've got it all in terms of Indiana with their ability to not only run the football. You have the number 1 overall pick. You've got 3 insane weapons in Charlie Becker, Elijah Surratt, and Omar Cooper. Like, you've got 3 absolute dogs in the receiving core. And I think that's going to be ultimately the area where Indiana wins this football game if Miami's able to kind of slow down the running game, which I think Indiana's going to have their opportunities. But I think it's going to come down to Fernando Mendoza being the number 1 overall pick, being the Heisman Trophy winner, being everything that you could absolutely imagine. And how perfect is it where it's like he's going to kind of complete the perfect season, 16-0, Heisman Trophy, first overall pick, national championship, everything you could ever imagine. Griff, the only complaint I have is, like, I feel like a lot of the times in the college football national championship, I feel like you get bad games. Like last year, Notre Dame, Ohio State sucked.
Yep.
I'm going back to that LSU Clemson game, was it?
Yeah, Michigan, Washington, that sucked. Michigan dominated.
Wasn't a great
Georgia
game.
dominated TCU.
Trash game. I mean,
I'm trying to think of, like, when was their last good game?
Yeah, I know. It feels like every year in the national championship. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, but you know, you shouldn't have expanded the playoff because you get a lot of blowouts in round 1. It's like, I feel like we've just had a lot of blowouts in college football and the big moments regardless.
Yeah.
Like, even when they initially opened it up to 4, like I remember Oklahoma just getting boat raced by Bama, I think it was one year, and Alabama killing Cincinnati. Like, there's been a lot of big blowouts in the college football playoff. And I will say that's kind of like the one like bummer with it all, where it's like, you know, I look at the NFL slate this weekend. I am so excited for every single game. 8.5 point spread in the national championship. It doesn't fire me up that much.
No, it doesn't. And like you said, the last couple national championships have been duds.
Yeah.
They've been absolute duds. And like you said, Vegas thinks it's going to be a dud again. 8.5 points, that is a dud.
Yeah,
now, I really wish, or not I wish, because that would make me a Miami fan, that Miami versus Ole Miss game, if that was the national championship, that would be one of the best national championships I've ever seen in my life. How that whole game went, how the ending went, that would be absolute cinema. Back in the day, Clemson played Alabama and they won on the national championship with Hunter Henry.
Yep.
Or not
Deshaun.
Hunter Henry, Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, Renfro.
Yeah,
Good
Renfro
pull.
does that out yard. Deshaun Watson rolls out. That's the game. And I think it was like in the 40s. It was like 45-44, something like that. That was an amazing national championship. And as a fan, because I mean, you're a Nebraska guy. I'm an ASU guy. You support ASU as well. We just kind of want to see a good game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? 100%. We kind of want to see a good game. I mean, minimum, Indiana's going to win this game by 10.
Yeah.
If they win.
Yeah, and I really do hope it's a close one. To your point with the whole, and we were talking about it earlier, where it's like Miami's built to beat you up front. They're built to beat you with this running game. They're built to beat you with the front seven. I didn't think there was any chance that Miami was going to be able to. Once Ole Miss had that touchdown late, I didn't think Carson Beck was going to be able to do it. I
thought he was going to fold.
I was like, you got to rely on, and this is not how they've been built this year. And that's why they lost to SMU or Louisville. It was like he threw like 4 picks or something against Louisville. I want to say it was like, and he's had a great year. He really has had a solid year. I'm happy for the guy, but like, this has not been a team that's been built off of, hey, Carson Beck, go throw the ball 30 times or go lead us on a game-winning drive with 3 minutes left. We absolutely need you. That's not how they've been built. And for him to lead that and orchestrate that game-winning drive, that was really big. He made some great throws. Side note, Malachi Toney caught that football. I know that one-handed snag got his foot down for. Is that not a catch? I mean, I don't get it.
First of all, no one knows what a catch is because
and clearly you don't know what a targeting is either.
No.
Not you, but people in general don't know what targeting is in college football.
I mean, in that I know college football and the NFL is different. Between that Cooks catch late in the game against the Jags, I thought that was a catch 100%. They brought it back. No one knows what a catch is. It's crazy how you could toe drag out of the end zone, but if you toe tap on the line, you need your heel to fall on, and you're just like. I don't know.
Well, they're saying it like if it's not like instantaneous, like if maybe it's just like your toes go down first and then it's your heels, but like it's such a random call. Like who knows how to even call that?
No, and it was a circus catch.
Yeah.
It was an absolute circus catch. No, he's awesome. He is absolutely awesome. Miami, it's funny because we said it earlier. Miami wasn't even the ACC champions. No. Duke won the conference.
7-5.
7-5. Duke won the conference. And Miami 10-2 didn't even plan it. Did not even plan it. Now, this whole bowl, I wanted to ask a question. This whole bowl season, I have a take about the conferences. Before we get out of here. You know me, quick video. Shout out National Championship game. I can't stand, and maybe you're one of these guys, I can't stand when someone says the SEC is bad because of their bowl games. I don't know. I don't. Their bowl record. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, these teams don't care. Like in the Pop-Tart Bowl, or not the Pop-Tart Bowl because that's a better bowl, but I mean, you got the Cheez-It Bowl, you got these SEC teams, half of their team left. Half their team's in the portal. Half of their team is declaring for the draft, and like a team like North Central State or something like that, or a Duke comes in and beats them, and then everyone like laughs at the SEC. It's making me really sound like an SEC homer, but the SEC hasn't won a national championship in a couple years. So what is your take on the conferences like during the bowl games, like when they take the records and then they go off that? What do you think about that?
I just think the Big Ten is king. The Big Ten is king. I know a lot of people try and say that the SEC is king. I mean, the Big Ten is going to win the championship for 3 years in a row now. The Big Ten has dominated the SEC every time they've gone head to head. The SEC is definitely the second best conference. Like, I don't think it takes a genius or a rocket scientist to say, hey, the Big Ten and the SEC are easily the best two conferences in all of football. And I think you can just look at the results over the last few years and say, hey, the Big Ten's the better conference here. Maybe there's some more variance and there's better teams deeper in the conference. But Iowa beat Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt had everybody, and they were going full steam. Like
they were.
And that's why I'm like, I don't know. I'm not saying like the SEC is a bad conference. I just think the Big Ten is king.
Big Ten, they really, I mean, Indiana came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Indiana came out of nowhere because, I mean, if it wasn't for Indiana, I mean, maybe then Ohio State would go on and win. But I mean, Georgia,
Oregon was
in there as well. Oregon was in there as well. It's just funny how the conferences work at the end because everyone just either bashes them. But next year, looking at these conferences, just looking at, I mean, Ohio State's going to be there. Ohio State's going to be good.
Indiana's
Michigan
got a crazy transfer portal.
Yeah, Indiana.
We didn't even talk about that, but they got
Cignetti is the guy. I mean, he's damn near, on Nick Saban's path. You know what I mean? He is on Nick Saban's path. Oregon, I've never been a really big fan of Oregon. I don't
Dante Moore comes back.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, they were in the Final Four this year.
I'm not a big fan of Moore either. I don't he's a little soft. You know, he's a little soft. But it's going to be interesting moving forward because now they're talking, Caden, they're talking about 16 or 24 teams. Did you see that rumors?
No, I didn't see
the
that.
rumors are that they're gonna move. Well, I heard the rumors were they're definitely gonna move to 14 or 16.
I'm okay with that.
They're definitely gonna move
to
24 does seem too much because then you get to the point where it's like, dude, what are you gonna have? Duke in there?
Yeah.
Or like 7-5 Duke?
Puke.
Yeah, like who's gonna
Anything
come
to
in?
get Nebraska in. I just want Nebraska to play a playoff game, bro.
Hey, listen, Nebraska. How many games was Nebraska out by? Only a couple, right?
Too many. Way too many. I believe we went 7-6 to finish the year. We had we were like 7-2.
You started off great.
And I was in Nebraska against the USC game, or I was in Nebraska for the USC game, I should say. We had a solid lead. Third quarter, Dylan Raiola breaks his leg. He transfers. The defense poops itself, and here we are.
Hey,
I'm in Moose.
If Indiana can turn their team around, why can't Nebraska?
Yeah, I've been saying that the last 2 years, where it's like, that's so great that Indiana can just have this like great comeback, like, and everyone else can use the transfer portal so well. It's like, when is Nebraska going to figure it out? When are they going to figure it out? Wake up. Warren Buffett, give us $1 billion, please.
Yes, Nebraska needs it. Nebraska needs it. We will appreciate you tuning in. This is the last game. You know what I mean? Last national championship game. We talked a little bit about some other stuff, but we appreciate you tuning in to the Dual Threat Podcast. Now, going forward into the future, with the off season, we're probably going to lump in some stuff. You know what I mean? If we talk about college football and the NFL or the NBA, it's probably going to be lumped into one episode. It's not going to be, and we'll have some timestamps for you in those episodes. You know what I mean? So if you're like, man, I'm only here for the college football talk, like we'll have a timestamp for you coming in the future.
But I think there's a lot of people that are just here for like the guru griffs, like just amazing face. Like that's what a lot of people have been commenting.
Could be.
Regardless, you're here. We appreciate you guys showing up. We appreciate you guys showing some love to the podcast so far. It's been really fun. If you guys missed our NFL talk, we had a huge NFL podcast breaking down the wild card round, previewing the upcoming divisional round. It's the best time of the year right now with some great football happening. Let's hope we get a great national championship, Griff. Thanks so much for joining us, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. You guys have a good one, Indiana. They're probably going to win that, John.
Curt Cignetti, I feel great for you. See ya.